Alright, much ado about nothing. Free, win, red, and modern. Meh. Don't got the Blood Moon, don't have a Planeswalker, but we'll see. Hopefully the top of our deck is friendly. Magma Jet is good, as is Anger. Ooh, Gravecrawler. Is this like a dredge deck? Well, we're going to want to, I guess, empty our hand and get this Ensnaring Bridge down. Inquisition. Well, it's probably going to take our Ensnaring Bridge. This deck has been pretty sweet so far, and we have run into very few free Blood Moon wins. Haven't run into any of the big Blood Moon decks where Blood Moon just causes our opponent to scoop. Takes the Anger of the Gods. Interesting. Apparently our opponent is not familiar with how Ensnaring Bridge works. Desperate Ritual. Well, I think we're just going to get this Ensnaring Bridge on the battlefield so our opponent can't make us discard it. Since they're green-black, they could potentially Abrupt Decay it, but I don't know how many Abrupt Decays this deck plays, or exactly what this deck is, even. Lightning Bolt. Yeah, I guess we just pass for now. All of our cards are instants, so I guess if we decide to, we could try to Desperate Ritual into Magma Jet and Lightning Bolt at instant speed to turn on our Ensnaring Bridge, make those Grave Crawlers and Bloodghast not attack. I don't think we're going to do that, though. We can just wait. Probably just Magma Jet end of turn. Whether we target our opponent or a Gravecrawler, I'm not sure. Another Bloodghast. Well, let's just Magma Jet targeting our opponent. Ooh, Blood Moon? Alright, let's put Spirit Guide to the bottom, Blood Moon on top. Now we'll play this land, play the Desperate Ritual, play Blood Moon. Alright, so it looks like our opponent has Abrupt Decay. Question is, what are they going to kill? Probably Bridge. Whoa! Okay. Well, maybe they have double Abrupt Decay. I guess if they have double Abrupt Decay, that play makes sense. And they do. Okay. Well, let's kill the Gravecrawler. Well, that was just a little unfortunate, I guess, that they happen to have double Abrupt Decay. So now we're back to needing an Ensnaring Bridge. Chandra's not horrible. If our opponent doesn't draw any lands, then we're kinda getting there. But the Bloodghast comes back with haste. Yep, there's the land. I wonder if they go after Chandra. It's an interesting question. Looks like they're going to go after us. So we're going to need to hit something good with the Chandra, like an Ensnaring Bridge. Koth is not good enough. And Mountain. Alright, that does it. Well, that was a little unfortunate that our opponent had double Abrupt Decay. Good news is we get to bring in a bunch of cards that are good against this deck. We have the full playset of Relic of Progenitus, which is super good. And our opponent's mana, the way it's set up, if we stick a Blood Moon at the right time, they're not going to have a very easy time dealing with it. Alright, game 2. Alright, not super exciting, but potentially good if our opponent doesn't have turn 1 discard. If they don't have turn 1 discard, we get to turn 1 Relic into turn 2 Blood Moon, and that's a really good start. Relic itself just seems very good against our opponent's deck. But I'm not holding my breath because they probably have a lot of discard spells, and seems like that's what's going to happen. Oh, Gravecrawler. Okay. Well, that's fine. So we get to exile the Bloodstained Mire. Then we'll just play this land, exile Simian Spirit Guide, cast a Blood Moon. Doesn't do anything yet, but it means our opponent can't just fetch for more lands. And they're going to need to just naturally draw a basic forest to kill the Blood Moon. Gets in with Gravecrawler. And scoops it up. Free win! Got the free win that time. Alright. Well, that was easy. No Blood Moon, but we have a lot of good things. This hand's a little slow, and our opponent can make us discard a lot of good things. Anger is really good, though. Alright, turn 1 Thoughtseize. See what they take. I would assume it would be the Anger. Anger feels like the most devastating card against them since it exiles all their creatures. But now we just hope we tick things up until we start playing Planeswalkers and draw our Blood Moons along the way. See if they get a basic forest. Oh, they're just going to do nothing. Alright, play a land, pass. Do they have basic forests? Oh, well, that's a pretty clear sign that they don't have basic forests in their deck, or they would have fetched one out there. Which means it's possible we can catch them. Thoughtseize. Well, let's Magma Jet in response. Bottom Spirit Guide, bottom Mountain. Don't want either of those. They get to take a Planeswalker of their choice. I'd probably take Chandra. Even though, alright, even though Koth is devastating in the long game. Or if it ultimates. Ooh, Relic? Relic is sweet. Get the Relic down. Relic combined with Chandra, pretty easy way to mow through our opponent's creatures. And our opponent's all the way down to 11? That is really low. Well, they clearly don't have basic forests. Cavern. Huh. This doesn't feel like a cavern deck. On zombie. Okay. Lotlith Troll. I guess that's not bad. They can regenerate or discard a creature to get through Chandra. Desperate Ritual. Well, I think we Desperate Ritual here. Desperate Ritual into Chandra. Chandra, ping Lotlith Troll. Our opponent's just going to regenerate. Okay. That's acceptable. We wanted to use a Desperate Ritual because we want to leave up the mana in case they discarded like a Bloodghast or a Gravecrawler. We could exile their graveyard. Well, we'd love to find some of our Blood Moons or Ensnaring Bridges. Exile another card. Mountain is not great. I guess we can pump up Chandra here. Well, we might as well cast it. Our opponent's just going to regenerate, unfortunately. Play the land. If they have a creature they can discard, they can kill the Chandra. Lotlith Troll is pretty annoying. Do they have a creature to discard? Apparently not, or they don't want to. So we'll exile another card. Do we need to crack this relic? Are we that desperate? Not yet. Another land. Alright. Tick up Chandra. Magus of the Moon. Cast Magus of the Moon. Opponents stamping their swamps for no reason. It doesn't turn your swamps into mountains. That would be overpowered. Play this mountain. And I guess we just pass. I'm assuming they're going to dismember Magus of the Moon. Yeah. Well, we're going to lose our Chandra, which isn't great. Hopefully we draw into another one. Evolutionary Leap. Interesting. This is a cool deck idea. I like the idea of the deck. But it doesn't match up well if we can find our ensnaring bridges and blood moons. Unless they have lightning bolt. Alright, play the mountain. Still worried about just cracking this relic. This needs what, black to regenerate? I guess we just got to keep taking these beats for now and hoping we draw into some of the cards we want. Almost got the graveyard empty, which is good. Well, we'll play the relic. Now we'll definitely crack a relic to draw a card, since we have two. We'll wait to undetermined in case our opponent actually does something. Dark Confidant. Well, we're going to have to bolt that. Actually, do we have to bolt that? Maybe we let it live and hope that it kills our opponent? Let's see what we draw. We can crack this relic to draw a card. Ooh, Anger? Anger is pretty sweet. And Koth. What's the play now? Do we just Koth attack and see if our opponent blocks? They probably have removal in hand. They can, like, block with the Bob and sack it. We could Anger, make our opponent regenerate, then play Koth. Our opponent would probably Anger, they'd sack the Bob to get another creature. Yeah, I think we got to do that. I think we go with Anger the Gods. We might get our opponent down far enough on mana that we're going to get some damage out of the Koth. And we don't need too much damage. Oh. That was interesting. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So our opponent gets a Gravecrawler. Fine. They're going to have to regenerate Lotless Troll. Yep. Then we get to play this Koth. Untap a mountain. Attack with the mountain. Alright, we got our opponent down to 6. They are going to be able to discard Gravecrawler. Ooh, down to 5? They're going to be able to discard the Gravecrawler to get a counter on Lotless Troll. Oh, they're going to Abrupt Decay the Relic. Okay, so we don't get to draw a card. But we have our opponent to the point where... Whoa, they're at 3? Well, if they don't have discard, we just bolt their face and win. Wow. I didn't realize they fetch out an untap land. Well, they need a Inquisition or a Thoughtseize this turn, or we just bolt for the win. Gravecrawler, that was expected. Alright, they leap. Get another Lotless Troll. I mean, all this is fine as long as they... This is a cool deck, actually. I really like this deck. But as long as they don't have a discard spell, we're just going to win here. Like, they can leap again. They just keep hitting Lotleth trolls. I'm assuming they want to leap into Bloodghast and Gravecrawlers. Discards a card, so they're going to be able to kill our Koth. We know 2 of their cards are Lotleth trolls. We just got to hope that one of the other 2 is not a discard spell. One is a land. Is the last unknown card a discard spell? Oh, actually, they pitched a Lotleth troll. So they still have 2 unknowns. Play a Lotleth troll. Come on, no discard. Sweet. Alright. Bolt the face. We got there. Their aggressive fetching did them in. I think they might want to play more basics. But that deck is really cool. I might have to build that deck. That was pretty sweet.